retailmenot is the world's leading online marketplace for coupon and consumer deals. Cotter Cunningham, thank you so much for having us here at your headquarters.
Oh, thanks
today.
for coming.
We appreciate it.
Sure, thank you.
Now, we've seen a big shift in terms of how people use retailmenot from the desktop to mobile. How is that impacting your business?
You know, it's interesting. We call it kind of a short-term headwind, long-term tailwind. Short-term, there's been a challenge for us to monetize mobile the way we do the desktop. Our industry tracks and ultimately we make money off of cookies. Cookies are kind of 20-year-old technology and really don't work as well on mobile as they do on the desktop. So we have some effort, some work to do a better job of capturing the traffic we're driving and ultimately monetizing it. But long term, I really think mobile is going to be a huge win for us in that it's just so much more valuable to retailers. I can tell you this person is standing in front of your store, let's give them a special offer, and that's going to really resonate with retailers.
And so how is that changing the sort of innovations that you're making now with retailmenot?
You know, it's so funny. Our app allows you to go to the mall and there's a geofencing component. So in other words, we know you're at the mall. And so a little button pops up and says, hey, do you want to see what's on sale? You say, sure. Next thing you know, you can actually wend your way through the mall saving money as you go. So you can go to Macy's today, it's $5 off 50. You can go to Sears, it's $10 off 100. You can have lunch at Ruby Tuesdays and save 50% on a buy one, get one. I mean, it really allows consumers to change the way they shop. And ultimately, that's through technology, which I think is so powerful.
We talk a lot about mobile, but now we've got the Apple Watch that's going to be in stores soon. How is that going to change the business?
You know, it's funny, I don't know yet, but we're definitely watching the Apple Watch. I mean, I think Apple Pay is so interesting. We see those enablers as ultimately helping us. As commerce gets slicker and smoother, it only ultimately makes it our job easier, we believe. So on the whole, I'm excited. I'm a huge Apple fan, so I'm eager to get one, so we'll see.
You mentioned Macy's, your other customers, Walmart, Target, a lot of the big retailers around the world.
Right.
You make your money off, as you say, cookies from the desktop, but that really hasn't translated yet to mobile.
Right.
Are there other revenue streams that you can pursue?
Sure. We do make a substantial amount of money from advertising, where think of it as just we have this great audience that's sort of shopping and out and about. Retailers want to be in front of that, so we do allow them to buy advertising on the site as well.
Here we are approaching the end of the first quarter, 12 straight months of job gains across the country. Are you going to be adding more jobs this year in 2015 here in Austin or other parts of the world?
No, we are. We're adding engineers, so both on software engineers. We're adding both here and in Europe. We're adding salespeople. We're probably going to add almost 30 salespeople here in the U.S. And we're also adding product people. So yeah, we're growing across the board.
How is the app going to look at the end of 2015? Is it going to be very different than what we see now?
I think in general it's going to be the same. I think what our goal is to get smarter about where you are. And ultimately, it's not enough for me to know you're at the mall. I want to know that you're standing in front of Sears. I want to know that you're standing in front of Urban Outfitters. And how can I help you then begin your journey through that store as opposed to just knowing you're at the mall?
Is the coupon marketplace too crowded? I mean, you've got a big competitor in coupons.com about the same market cap. Have you thought about doing any sort of M&A deal with them?
No, you know, they really focus more on traditional coupons or CPG. You know, when you go to the grocery store and you buy a cherry Coke or something like that, that's more what they do. We're more focused on retailers, you know, Macy's, Kohl's, etc. So the company, we overlap a bit with them, but on the whole, they're much more focused on grocery.
You went public in July of 2013. Here we are about 2 years later. Under that Wall Street microscope, every quarter trying to make sure, are you making your numbers on the top line and the bottom line? Was it easier when you were a private company?
In some ways, sure. You're able to talk to the employees about the company at specific points instead of being measured every day. And employees can't help but track the stock. They can't help but kind of follow it and see how things are going. And And just in some ways, I think the stock can be a barometer that people follow a little too closely. And what we tell people is don't watch the stock, focus on the long term. Let's all talk about what we're trying to do this year. But ultimately, the great thing about being a public company is that it gives the employees such a sense of pride, I think, to see that we're public, to know that our numbers are public. So if we're recruiting you, you can easily find out about the company. There's a stability to it. And also, ultimately, you can sell your stock. It's so much easier as a public company, as an employee, to sell your stock than it is if we're private. So, this is just part of the game.
Cotter, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for the time.